Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kyle and I'm here to do a little mini episode away from the podcast to talk about the 2017 adaptation of It. So, let's get to it. The highly anticipated remake of the 1990 TV miniseries hit theaters this weekend, and so far, reviews have been pretty positive. In a horror film industry littered with franchises such as Annabelle, The Conjuring, and your yearly throwaway horror films, does It stand out? The short answer, yes. Yes, it does. Before I go into the long answer, if you're just wanting to know if you should check out the film, then by all means, go check it out. I highly recommend. As I continue on, I will try to stay away from major spoilers, but if you've seen the original TV series, then you'll already know what's going to happen in the film, for most part. But, nonetheless, potential spoilers ahead. It is the adaptation of the novel of the same name written by Stephen King. In 1988, in the town of Derry, Maine, children are going missing and it seems no one knows why. Meet our gang of heroes: Bill, Richie, Stan, Mike, Eddie, and Beverly. Not only do they have to deal with the school bullies and their own personal hells at home, but now they must have to deal with the fact that they're being hunted by the mysterious Pennywise, the dancing clown. And it's up to them to end the horror that reigns over this town. The direction of the film is played more of a psychological suspense thriller rather than your standard horror monster film. All of the kids have their moments to be tormented by Pennywise in their own way, and this proves effective. One of the film's strengths is definitely how they make you feel that you can't escape Pennywise. The film makes his presence known, and it's always in a new and creative way. Whether it be old newspaper articles, slide projectors, hell, sometimes he just shows up to mess with the kids. Nonetheless, the writers had Pennywise scare the kids in their own personal fears. For example, Richie with his fear of germs, Mike and his nightmares with the slaughterhouse, and Bill with his looming guilt and suffering over the loss of his brother, Georgie. Since we're on the topic of Pennywise, let's just get this out of the way. Bill Skarsgård's performance of Pennywise is its own thing. The miniseries portrayal of Pennywise, played by Tim Curry, will always and forever be in the hearts and nightmares of those who've seen his outstanding performance. To say one is better than the other is a bogus argument and should stay as such, because Bill Skarsgård's portrayal was damn good. If anything, it shows that there is room for two great performances of the same character. For me, and I'm sure a plethora of others, Tim Curry is the reason why the original miniseries was enjoyable. And Skarsgård's performance was what this specific adaptation needed, and I believe he gave it his 110%. Now how about them kids? I think the writers took some tips out of the Netflix series Stranger Things, because these kids sound, or should sound, like how kids talk. Cussing their behinds off and throwing your mom and dick jokes everywhere. And then it's all cleaned up when the parents are around. I guess it also helps that Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things is also in this film. I will say, the kids aren't really fleshed out save for their biggest fears and their own personal hells that are explored. Granted, this isn't the entire story, but if I'm judging this in a standalone film mindset, there's not much. The story didn't sweat the small stuff. It mostly kept to the big picture. The dynamic of the kids was really refreshing. There's a stigma with child actors since most of the time they're terrible. And I'd say these kids deserve some praise for their performance. I do wish them the best of luck if they continue with this career, because they did a fantastic job in this film. Now, this is supposed to be a scary film. How does the scare factor go for this film? Me personally, I wasn't really that scared. To be fair, I've watched a plethora of horror films during my childhood, so the scares stopped being scary. So, as I've gotten older, I've started looking into the behind the scenes and the process of the development of how movies make the scares. Now, does me saying I wasn't scared mean that it wasn't scary? Absolutely not. No. The audience that I was with in the theater were jumping and reacting to all the scares because they were genuinely effective. This is where I have to give props to the production team, because this film is beautiful. The cinematography was really top-notch, and it helps to set up the atmosphere. Subtle light imagery and design choices that foreshadow later events, and put that with the wide shots of the location, it just really puts you in the situation of the kids. And then you have the sound department. Slight tangent. One of the biggest things that I feel make a great horror suspense film is the sound/ambiance of the film. One of the biggest pet peeves of modern day horror, I believe, is its reliance on jump scares with sudden blaring music. It has maybe 2 or 3 jump scares, and they're used effectively. For example, Beverly has a tense encounter that results to her hitting her father in the head with a toilet basin lid. There is a moment of quiet. The camera pans over, and Pennywise is there to strike. It's that moment of quiet that really sells it. For most part, all of Pennywise's scares consisted of a great blend of practical and CGI effects, which led to me to go, wow, that's really fucking cool, for a solid 15 times during the film. Now, for most part, I've praised this film wholeheartedly, but I will not deny that there are flaws in this film. The parents are shitty for the sake of being shitty. The bullies are outlandishly two-dimensional for the sake of being stereotypes. And there are some threads I felt were unexplored, but were mentioned for the sake that it's in the novel. Mind you, the last nitpick is purely speculation, since I have never read the book. There's probably more that I probably didn't even realize were even there. Because here's the thing. Pure and simple. I enjoyed the film. And all the bad things kind of got swept under the rug because of the consistent tone of the film set from the very first 10 minutes of the film. In conclusion, It 2017 was a really cool suspense film that really gave a refreshing feel to the current horror genre, and I can't wait to see what lies ahead. At the time of me writing this script, it has an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, an 8.3 on IMDb, and has already received $13.5 million on Thursday night sales alone, and is projected to reach $85 million by the end of opening weekend. Definitely check it out if you can. Alright, a little bit of house cleaning. We have a lot of projects going on, and because of life, production has slowed a bit. We have 2 episodes of the podcast coming through the pipe right now. They just need to go through the editing process and all that other good stuff, and they'll be up right as rain coming here soon. The Abridge is coming along just fine. That is also coming through the pipeline right now. So until these things come out, we're going to be trying to get these mini episodes out and be able to keep supplementing the channel with videos and keep interest alive at least a little bit. So if you're new here, this is completely different than what we used to do. And again, if you're new here, I'll leave an annotation to our playlist of the podcast episodes, and also click the subscribe button, and we hope to have you around for a little bit. Also, like the video, leave a comment below saying what you thought of it or of just the format that we have right now. Also, check out our Discord server, and I'll leave my affiliate links below. And if you're on the Discord server, you can check out all of our links to everyone in the podcast and their affiliated links in the server. I'm Kyle, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.